taking the time to come join us. My name is Sam, and I am here to talk to you about why Greenville is such an exciting place to make movies, and why it is ready to go up in weight class in the filmmaking industry department, and why it belongs here, okay? So we're gonna talk about a few things to support that idea. But the number one thing that I want to say, so everything sort of filters through that as I talk, is that for 160 plus years, Greenville, South Carolina, has been one of the great manufacturing centers in the entire world. Textiles, computer parts, now cars, BMW, Michelin. I mean, it's really amazing that these enormous companies know that if they want to make their product today in the best way, in the best place, with the best people, they come to Greenville, right? So now, understand that movies, making a movie, is a manufacturing endeavor, okay? It's a manufacturing endeavor. So if you think about, let's say, BMW, there are, designers, and they're brilliant and creative, and they know how to take what a car can be and create something really cool that people want to drive. But designers don't make cars. The crews make cars. The assembly line makes the car. And it's the same with movies. Directors are thought of, rightly so, as creative geniuses and visionaries. And you know their names, from Steven Spielberg to Greta Gerwig and these amazing filmmakers. But directors don't make movies. Crews make movies. Skilled laborers make movies. Directors have vision. We all serve that vision in the same way people at BMW serve the car designer's vision. But movies are made by construction workers and seamstresses and camera people and electricians who hang lights and food services people that fuel the crew while they work the day. It is literally an assembly line. And different things come off the assembly line, right? So you can program it in a way with a certain kind of costume and a certain kind of music and a certain kind of actor and have a horror movie. Or you can program it with a certain kind of actor and sound and all this, and come out with a thriller. But they're all made the exact same way. Okay, so somebody real quick, just somebody yell out a movie you like. Great, The Matrix. Cool, right? Somebody now yell out a movie you didn't like, and it's okay. Bang, joins the majority, Waterworld. Great movie not to like. So what does The Matrix and Waterworld have in common? Exactly what I just said. They were made the exact same way, just with some different stuff. But the process of a script being written, it being broken down into a schedule and a budget and something to be executed by highly, highly skilled people that ultimately gets delivered out the other end, that's movie making. And innovation is not always reinventing the assembly line. Sometimes innovation is knowing where to build the assembly line and when to begin with. And right now, Greenville, South Carolina is a simply awesome place to make movies. It might not be making a lot of movies just yet, but movies are being made here, make no mistake. I've been here for about 2 years, and what I arrived to was really inspiring. I did not come here to make movies. Let me be clear. I came here for the best reason in the world. I came here for love. I came here because my wife is from Gaffney, right up the road, and it was time to move home. So we came. And first of all, I'm just so happy I did. Greenville's awesome. Incredible place. But when I got here, I found a community of artists and technical workers that wanted to make movies, that were making movies, that had the desire to do it. And then this, when you do things for love, right, the right miracles happen. And I got offered this incredible opportunity to help build the production side of the Clemson University Film School. So they have a really good film theory side already. Watch movies, write papers, understand the language, right? If you can't make a blueprint, you can't really build a house. So, they had that, but they didn't have production. So I started the production department. And it gave me an opportunity, frankly, to kind of kick the tires on everything around here. See what was possible, see who was around, and also gauge the interest and capacity of these students. And let me tell you something, they're amazing. Amazing. They are so passionate, so smart, so driven, so talented. And so what separates people that are driven, talented, and passionate from their successes often in life? Education and opportunity. It's kind of like that in any business. So at Clemson, we decided to really, lean into the education part so that we could create opportunity here and create kind of an ecosystem where we make films. And we make films by controlling the means of production from start to finish, okay? So basically, you need three things, okay, to have a kind of happening movie community, all right? The first thing that you need is you need state support. You need government support. We got it. The South Carolina Film Commission has a tax incentive. It's really terrific. Matt Storm, that runs the commission, is an awesome guy. He's here to support. He's here to help. So the state is providing the opportunity for film crews to work here in an economically competitive environment, and that's huge. Second thing that you need are storytellers. Well, we're in the South. You're all storytellers. Everybody's a storyteller. I married a Southern storyteller. And I've seen that young lady from Gaffney perform on Broadway stages at the Hollywood Bowl, be in TV shows like Modern Family, write for TV shows like Netflix. So while, of course, I think she's really special, there's got to be more down here, right? So we're finding them. And then the third thing that you need is the workforce, the crew. A crew that can make films at the highest level, not just make a movie. Make a great movie. And they're here, and we're training them. And that's what we're doing at Clemson. And other awesome institutions around here in the upstate have great film programs as well. In June of this past year, we made a feature film at Clemson that Sam referenced. We had 20 students working on the crew. We had 18 students in the cast. They were not running around getting coffee. They were setting lights. They were setting art. They were running the cameras. They were making the film under the tutelage of some wonderful people that were both local and that we brought in from Atlanta, New York, LA. The goal is to eventually not bring anybody ever in from anywhere except here as we train these crews up and bring them up in weight class to make the films here. But these kids are already working on other people's movies. They know what to do because they did it. They did it at a real level. Which is, when you watch kids play football, you're like, oh, that's tough. 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, 3 straight weeks. They showed up every day. They worked for 12 hours a day, and they made a film. You cannot recreate that. You can't teach that in a classroom. So that experiential learning is a really exciting part of how we're developing the crew side of that three-legged stool. We've already gotten the grant to do another movie next summer. The movie we made will be coming out next year. And these young people will be getting their first credit, like a real movie, and graduating with that, which is awesome. But back to Greenville, we're now satisfying that very hard part of developing really, really high-end world-class crew to work on these films. So we have the three things in place, right? Now let me tell you how Hollywood is helping us. It's broken completely, okay? You hear about it because they have the megaphone. Everybody's leaving LA. Coming to places like this. Maybe not to do the work, but when I got here, I saw that the work was possible. Because the type of assembly line that we want to build here, the type of manufacturing, at least that we're building here now, is to satisfy an entire lane that is underserved in the global media business. This is important to know that this is there. This is a real marketplace. This isn't an arts and crafts project. This is a major business. and a business that is huge and a business that will be here for the next century and beyond. Media is not going anywhere, okay? So Hollywood's broken. Here's how, in the most basic terms. It has sort of gone with globalization and streaming into making the biggest tentpole movies they can make, competing with more expensive movies and more technology and building a bigger roller coaster ride, which is why you go to the movie theater and there's Spider-Man 9 and Star Wars 11 and Spider-Man 10 next week, and it feels like this roller coaster ride that they're constantly putting you on, and they are. They're competing to do bigger things, and as they do that, they're looking to take those projects and put them in places that are the best value. Of course. But what Hollywood's left behind are the under $10 million movie. The movie that could be made at a cost in an intelligent way with a really high-end crew, with great talent, with amazing people, in a place that people want to live and raise their families and live like Greenville, right? And when I talk about the under $10 million movie, I don't want you to think that I'm just picking something out of thin air that's hyperbole, okay? 4 of the most recent Best Picture winners of the Oscars, Anora, Moonlight, Nomadland, and Coda. Those are movies that were made for under $10 million independently outside of the studio system east of the Mississippi. And then they rode into the amazing distribution, global amazing technology that we have right now, because there's only one market, right? Some of you, I am, may be old enough to remember when a movie would premiere and then slowly make its way across the country and then slowly make its way to Europe and wherever. Well, we only live in one market now, the world, right now. We make our film, we put it out on certain platforms, and the entire planet will see it at once. What's really cool about that also is we're getting great stuff from elsewhere. We're getting films from around the world. Stories, ultimately, I do believe, are what bind us. They're such a part of our humanity, right? As I kind of joke, you know, there are old cave people that went out and killed dinosaurs, and then there were cave people that guarded the cave, and then there were people in the back drawing on the wall. I draw on the wall, right? And a lot of people draw on the wall because we need entertainment. We do, and we learn by stories, and we feel by stories. And when doctors try to explain things to you, they tell you a story. When entrepreneurs try to explain things, they tell you a story. When your pastor tries to explain something meaningful to you, it's usually through a sermon that's story-filled, because stories are what really capture us and bind us. A lot easier for most, at least like me, than statistics and such. So having a storytelling industry in a place where you can tell authentic, meaningful human stories at a price point with support and a great crew and great storytellers, it is a recipe for success. Truly, it's not that complicated. The last thing I'll say about it is that movies are force multipliers, okay? The success of a film comes in many, many, many ways. One of those ways, like if you kind of just think about, it cost this, it made this, right? But tourism, as one example, okay? Media tourism. The #1 tourist attraction right now still in Croatia is the Game of Thrones tour. I'm friends with the film commissioner of Moab, Utah. They're still selling hotel rooms and making money because people want to go see where Thelma and Louise went off the cliff. I'm not kidding. I'm not. It's kind of remarkable. And anybody see The Joker? Right? So you remember when Joaquin Phoenix is like coming down the stairs singing and everything? That stairwell now has a 1-hour line to walk up it every day. So Joaquin Phoenix won an Oscar. But you know who really won? The coffee shop on that block. For real. If you want to be a part of the filmmaking process, reach out, find us, find me, find my partner. There are classes you can take. There are things you can do online. These are translatable skills, right? We don't teach somebody how to be a carpenter because they want to be in the movie business. We take carpenters, put them in the movie business. If you're an accountant, You don't have to be a CPA, by the way, to be a production accountant. You can understand how production accounting works, take that acumen, come be an accountant on a movie. High-paying jobs. Last thing, you know what's great about movies? As a product, they don't need gas. You don't have to clean them. They don't need a staff. They make money forever, ever, right? Casablanca's making money right now. Someone. So these also are revenue streams that will maintain and exist over time. And when you make films intelligently, at a cost, in a place like this where you can really do it what I would consider right, you can share some equity with everybody working on it. So we all win. The city wins, the community wins, the value of the product and the values of the people in the community travel with the film. So that's one way. Another way you can help or just be involved is if you see cameras and you see streets that might be blocked or someone, be kind. You know, don't be like, oh my God, they're shooting a movie. Be like, they're shooting a movie. This is awesome. They're bringing Greenville out there. These are our people working and doing it, right? So support it at that level, which would be awesome. And then most important, watch the stuff that gets made here because we need audiences, right? That's the whole relationship. So if you really just think about it again as a manufacturing endeavor, not a pixie dust, you know, movie star thing. Think about it as a fundamentally intelligent thing to manufacture and distribute out in the world. There's very few places as terrific to make movies right now as Greenville. And this business is going to happen here, and it's going to grow here, and it's going to thrive here. And we're really excited to be a part of it. There's a lot of different people that are doing it here. We're all going to go up together, and Greenville's going to come up with us. So as we say on set, every time we're about to do a take or, you know, make a shot happen, action. So this is the time for action. Thank you very much.